Well, my friends, welcome to the new year. This is New Year's Day 2024. And, for all 23 of you who are subscribers to my channel, I'm grateful for you. Although I suspect at least one of those subscribers is my other account, which is kind of weird how that stuff works. Anyway, I'm grateful that y'all have stuck it out this long. Some of this, yeah, I get you, right? Just another nut job rambling off and ranting and raving. So, we're looking at some strange stuff coming up for the new year. We've got, probably one of the most important elections ever in the history of America, and it's got to be in the top 2 or 3 for sure. There's so much lies and bullshit going on right now, it's not funny. I'm getting bombarded by, I live in Iowa, in the middle of Iowa, so I'm getting bombarded by non-stop video ads of these competing GOP people just bashing the crap out of each other. And it's like, for example, in 2016, Governor Reynolds, the governor of the state of Iowa, who's got her own problems, was a staunch supporter of Trump. And so she did a number of videos to that effect, promoting him. So, this is the greatest, potential president, blah, blah, blah. So, after some tiffs and tops and some, some snubbing on prior to Trump, thinking, he's better or something, because that's what he does. Our governor said, good luck there, Chuckles, and then turned around and embraced DeSantis. So she's done some ads supporting DeSantis, which is laughable at best, because everything I know about Reynolds, she don't support him either. She don't. He's a pussy, and she knows it. And he's proven it over and over again. Anyway, so the DeSantis campaign, or the Trump campaign, has been replaying the political ads from from 2016 election. Yeah, and because it shows our governor supporting Trump. All right, and then she did it so much that our governor had to come out with her own ad saying, that's not what I said. That was then, this is now. Right? And it just doesn't end there. It just is, right? And it's like the ones going on about ranting and raving about how Trump promised our boys would keep them out of foreign wars. Really? Pretty sure we were in Afghanistan the whole 4 years Trump was in office. Was I wrong? Because I know he made promises about getting us out of Afghanistan and immediately, conveniently forgot. Oh, I didn't make that promise. Am I wrong? All right, so it was Biden that said enough's enough and did he did the unpopular thing. If I was president, I most likely would have done the same damn thing. Maybe not as abruptly, but it would have been a done deal, right? We made a lot of crucial mistakes there in Afghanistan, and I have a lot of opinions on it, and I've done some videos before on it. I don't know if don't think they're posted on this channel, but in a nutshell, I have always been of the opinion that, first off, anybody who's a student of history understands that the region that Afghanistan occupies is a very disputed region. It's very isolated and remote, which makes controlling it even harder. And then you have a whole lot of, Texas on steroids attitude about it, which is what, if you want to look at the locals who live there, have a lot of that frontier mindset kind of philosophy, and they don't wholly necessarily hold. Look, there was a whole lot of them fighting the terrorists just as much as we were, because they didn't like them either, but for different reasons. Dare you come onto my land, tell me what I'm going to do. Tell me what God how I'm going to worship and what God I have to worship. I'm going to kill you. Right? Yeah, there's a lot of that in America. That's embedded in us. That's something that lurks on an ugly truth that lurks beneath the surface of many Americans, and some of it's starting to show through. I wonder why that is, right? It is. So I think about all this wonderful shit that's coming around, and so recently, first off, the state of Colorado has said that Trump's not eligible to run as president because under the sedition bullshit from the 14th Amendment. Now, I grant you, I've glanced at it. I tried to read a little bit through it, but there's a lot there that's just, oh, are you kidding me? Lawyer speak. right? So this was followed up by the state of Maine, their attorney general, who has a different set of rules and criteria that because it's a different state, said, look, by every measure of that description in the amendment, Trump does not meet that, or he does not warrant being allowed on the ballot. Keep in mind, being officially left off the ballot is not the same thing as being unable to participate, because you can have a write-in ballot. Everybody that's Republican and MAGA dominated in Maine who wants to vote for Trump can do so by writing Trump in as their choice. Unless that's a different rule I'm not familiar with, or Maine has a different version on that. But my basic understanding is that you can always have a write-in campaign, even if you don't make the damn thing. Anyway, so we get a lot of that. And this brings me to some of Trump's weird behavior and is really getting off crazier and crazier commentary, and he reeks of desperation, and he doesn't know how to handle it or how to comport himself, in part because he's a megalomaniac. He's such an egotistical maniac. I mean, the man sits there and has wet dreams about his damn daughter. No offense, it's hard not to. And she's an ugly person on the inside, from what I'm understanding. If she has anything like her mother or stepmother in personality, she's an ugly bitch inside. Outside, yeah, right. But you know what? A pretty package, you know, pretty package comes all nice and sweet doesn't mean it's good for you. Right? Not necessarily good for you. But I just think it helps understand a bit of where her father comes from, because he's only been about himself his entire life, including self-gratification. It's a miracle that nothing happened there. And if it did, most likely she's never going to talk about it, never going to bring it up. He'll never acknowledge anything because he'll never realize there was a problem. And some of the comments he's made in the past about his own daughter, hello? Right? I know he was trying to be, or at least how I think he was trying to project himself, but mostly he wasn't thinking. He was just talking her up about how great she is, right? You're going to need them skills. You're going to need them skills, Trump. You're going to need those skills, because if you don't have a heart attack first, because let's be truthful, a lot of his gaffes and his memory screw-ups and his forgetting where is, the man's on the move a lot. He's in constant motion right now. He can't sit still, in part because he's terrified of it. His life is in a corner he doesn't know how to get out of. And no matter which way he turns, there's people there with big honking poles and ropes to keep him from going far. You know, there's a reason why they didn't take his passport from him, because where would he flee? Where would Trump go? Ask yourself, what country in the world, a handful of countries, could Trump escape to, and what would he accomplish there? You know, he flees his money, although they're doing their level best up in New York to help strip some of that away from him. You know, but where's he going to go? And most countries would put his ass back on a plane and ship him right back to us at a drop of a hat. They don't want him there. At least a very few. Well, I suppose he'd go North Korea. They'd love him there. For how long? What good is he going to be there other than as as some sort of PR piece? It's no different than in Russia. All I can think of is all the two-bit bad toadies in all the movies over the years I've seen, who somehow or another reached beyond their station and thought they were somehow were going to come out on top, and they were actually being played by somebody else, and they ended up getting whacked at the end of the day. Right off, I don't know why, but the scene from Battlestar Galactica comes to mind when Lucifer, who spent his whole time plotting and the downfall and the destruction of his people, their entire civilization, for personal gain, because somehow he believed that the Cylons weren't going to completely wipe out the human race, and that he would be put in charge of what was left of it. And so when that didn't happen, and the Cylons initially said, thank you, you've done everything you've said you would do, and everything we've asked you to do, and you've served us quite well. Take off his head. Yeah, so a lot of the MAGA Republicans out there who are voting people in who want to, because they want to get the libs, they want to see the system crash, they want to see the cops burn, they want to see the FBI go down in flames, and 100 other reasons. At the end of the day, they're so short-sighted because they don't get it that most of the social programs and things they themselves depend on and their family depends on, their grandparents and parents depend on, would be destroyed by these people if they give them the power to do it. And then you'll be sitting there going with no home and no hat and this horrified look in your face going, well, you can't do that to me. I didn't vote for them to do that to me. Yeah, you made your last vote, MAGA America. Your last vote will be trying to put Trump into office. Win or lose, your last vote. Because if Trump gets in office, your vote ain't ever going to matter again. And he ain't going to care about you. Because you served your purpose, get the fuck out of his way. Just saying. So the only positive thing we might see by the end of the year is Trump in prison. Because in an entire fucked up system that we have in America, if it was you or me or 100 other people, we'd be in prison for a tenth of the shit he's pulled. If even the tenth. And more likely, we would have went to prison for the entire time we were sitting in a jail cell somewhere while our lawyers were trying to, prove we were innocent. Because in America, if you're poor, you go to prison. Oh, it's not like that. The fuck it ain't. I know firsthand how that works. So fuck you. The system is corrupt and it's heavily weighted the wrong way and for the wrong damn reasons. And the people know it. The people in charge fucking know it. And they fucking know it. And they won't do nothing about it. That's okay. Trump goes to prison, we can send him posters of his daughter. Right? He'll use all that charm and manipulative whatever he is to do what? I don't know. He's gonna be king of the East Cell Block 1, East Cell Block 5. He's gonna be the king of the yard until somebody kills his ass. No, the truth is, I hate to say this, but the truth is, Donald, they're gonna put your ass in special. You're gonna be at best, you're gonna be in special needs. You're gonna be on a special needs unit. And if you don't know why that is and what that is, Trump will learn that. Whether he recognizes that he learned it, I can't say. But for the majority of Americans who have never set foot in the prison, or let alone have been in the prison system, you don't exactly understand how shit works. How that works. Yeah. So he will be considered an extremely, not dangerous to anybody else, but dangerous to the system if he croaks. Because it would look very, very bad. So they're going to do their level best to make sure that doesn't happen. So initially, he'll be in isolation. He'll be in a cell. Most likely, he'll be in the hole in the county. And that's to keep him there for his own damn protection and to protect his mouth from getting other people cheesed off at him. Because I guarantee you, he's going to find a lot of loyal cultists waiting for his ass in there. And a handful of not so much that are thrilled to see what he represents. As long as he's got money, though, he'll live as comfortable as a person can live in prison. And it ain't by any means anything like you see in the Goodfellow movies and stuff. That was fine then. It ain't happening now. I don't give a shit what the movies tell you. That is not happening. The food sucks, Trump. There's no getting around it. There's a couple decent meals. It depends on where you're at. But most part of it sucks because they're using low budget shit. Often stuff that's past its prime on purpose because it's cheap. And they'll let them tell you they don't, because anybody's worked a prison in the kitchen will tell you the truth. How much mold they cut off a cheese while using the rest of the cheese. And how much gray and questionable looking meat has been utilized, right? Because it's cheap, and they keep their budgets low that way. As long as you don't croak from it, they've done their job, right? So you get some stuff from commissary. Not every place is the same, but most of them have some sort of commissary, and they can be quite limited. Uh, it depends, right? Also depends on what they deem he's accessible to, because there are tier systems based on things like length of time, severity of the crime, type of crime, the type of person you are, how you comport yourself, how you behave. They're going to consider this man a problem in any form. And they'll be doubly so because they have to be cautious that their own rank and file, who will have quite a few people who will be MAGA cultists in it, aren't tempted to bend rules for it. Because what have they been doing for the last 2 years? They've been bending the rules for Trump for a long time now. I mean, honestly, he has pushed the rules in the court system so much, and it's all designed. It's on purpose. So it's like when Maine took him off his ballot, and Colorado, see, they got a court order there saying that they're still pursuing it. So at the moment, he's still on the ballot there. I'm of the personal opinion. I understand what the 14th Amendment's about, and frankly, I think if you were going to enforce that, you need to enforce it from day one. So the minute somebody who's a known insurrectionist, the problem is he hasn't actually been convicted of this yet. So there's a lot of argument and fair truth to sit there and say, perhaps, just perhaps, you can't permit him from being on the ballot because he's been accused, but he hasn't been committed or sentenced to. The wording, like all wording, is subjective when it comes to everything. So I'm of the opinion personally, and I'm sure there's others out there that share my opinion, that the only real way for the whole country to benefit and to learn and to heal and to start to get over Trump is to have Trump be defeated at the polls by the people, preferably by the biggest damn margin humanly possible. And frankly, I would love to see a blue wind so vast, so hard, that it literally knocks the MAGA Republicans on their back, period. Maybe to the point where it kills them off. Because you've destroyed the damn Republican Party as an entity as of now. And it's going to take some years for the Republican Party to regain where it was. And it hasn't been in a good place in a long time anyway, which is a shame. What's even worse, though, in my mind, is how many of the Republican base are oblivious to it. And they're not oblivious necessarily because they're truly stupid and truly ignorant. You can't say that of everybody. Well, that's why I say willfully stupid, willfully ignorant. They willfully put blinders on to choose to see what they want. It's these same people. The problem with that philosophy, the problem with taking that track, is that these same people will believe this over time, and then it will become ingrained in them that it's the truth, and that total falsehoods are truths. And they don't cope with it well, and they don't cope with change well. And then we add that to this, I don't know, I grew up with a whole generation of conservative Americans that would be considered trailer trash or country boys or dumbass rednecks or South Side trash, because most of them grew up on the southeast side of Des Moines, where the poorest parts of the city are, or outside of the hood, where the poor white folk live, or did when I was a kid. And they've seen their whole life somehow. It just never turned out the way other people seem to have. And some people, they're used to it. This is life. We don't care. We focus on the moment. Like I said, I had my coworkers over last night, him and his wife, and Kevin's a great guy, and he's a hard-working dude, but he's so laid back. Most of the shit, it just rolls off his shoulder, and you don't even think about it. Because he's just focused on the moment and the day and the week, and it's just the way he rolls. Well, that's fine. Well, but, ignorantly stumbling your way through life doesn't make the world a better place, let alone subject you to far more dangers than it would if you took a little time to slow down and open your eyes. and listen. Use the mind. Use that thing between your ears that, believe it or not, is, God gave you, or jurisprudence managed to figure out a way to concoct out of the muck. However you want to believe or look at it, I don't care. But at the end of the day, if you don't exercise the gray matter that we all possess and think for yourself, these people are going to lead you off a cliff, and you're going to die a horrible, horrible death from it or worse. And yeah, there's worse things. Yeah, there's worse things. And the sucky part is our history books are full of examples, because humanity is nothing is far more worse or foul to humanity than humanity, right? This is just what do you do? Anyhow, good luck, Trump. Ivana for president. I'd vote for her. Yeah, right. Right? Maybe her and Laura Boebert can get together and go to a movie. Right? All right. Enough of that weird shit. Till next time. It just irritates me to no end.